It's a late summer morning when a man opens fire through the windows of a Catholic church during the Mass that marks the start of the school year. A sound that should never enter a place of peace. The toll is a wound to the very heart of the city. 2 children don't make it. Dozens are injured. And in the middle of that chaos, a bullet strikes a 12-year-old girl in the head. Her name is Sophia Forchas. Rushed to the hospital, her condition is desperate. The doctors are clear. Fixed pupils, intracranial pressure off the charts, the bullet still lodged in her brain. They consider her lost. Her brain, the organ that holds her dreams, her memories, her very identity, is under siege. In medicine, probabilities aren't just numbers, they are verdicts. And the verdict for Sophia seemed already written. Yet, just a few days later, the neurosurgeon who operated on her, Dr. Walt Galicic, a man of science, stands before reporters and utters a sentence no one expected. 10 days ago, I wouldn't have believed we could talk about hope. At this point, it would take a miracle. This is not only the story of a tragedy, it is the story of what happened after that sentence. Sophia undergoes an extreme operation. Surgeons remove part of her skull to relieve the swelling of her brain. The doctors do everything science knows how to do: surgery, medication, machines. Then begins the waiting. A waiting that feels like suspended time, a limbo where every second can bring either an ending or a new beginning. Sophia's mother, herself a pediatric nurse in that very hospital, knows that fearful silence all too well. She has seen it 1,000 times in the eyes of other parents. Now that silence is hers. And here, the story divides in two. Inside the hospital, medicine is fighting death. Monitors beep, doctors scan every data point, nurses never leave her side. Outside the hospital, another battle begins. The city stops and prays. And with it, the world. Parishes, communities, people who have never met Sophia but feel she is everyone's daughter. Her photo spreads across the internet. Prayer groups form. Rosaries are recited in chains. People pray not only for healing, but that the family might feel they are not alone. A network, visible and invisible, forms around that little girl. This is the first mystery. When science reaches its limit, faith does not surrender. In fact, that is precisely where it begins to fight. 72 hours pass, the most critical ones. Life hangs by a thread. Then something changes, a first timid update. Her condition moves from critical to serious. It's not a victory, but it's no longer a death sentence. Then another sign, a small movement the doctors record. Her brain's readings, once screaming with pain, begin to calm. The family, living this calvary minute by minute, uses for the first time a phrase that echoes through the media. They speak of miraculous progress. It isn't an emotional exaggeration. It's the wonder of those who have stared into the abyss and, against every statistic, see life pushing its way back. Even the doctors, with all their caution, admit that her recovery is better than expected. They don't use the word miracle. It's not their job to. But their faces, their gestures, reveal a wonder that speaks louder than any words. That's how truth makes its way forward. Not through triumphant proclamations, but through the quiet convergence of inexplicably positive clinical data and the testimony of those who were there. Faced with a story like this, the question arises almost by instinct. If God is good, why did He allow this to happen? It is the oldest question in the world, the one Job cried into the desert. Faith offers no easy answer, no mathematical formula to erase pain. That would be an inhuman faith. Christianity is not an anesthetic. It is a presence. Christ never promised us a world without dark valleys. He promised to walk through them with us. That morning, evil struck with violence. God didn't stop it with a thunderbolt. He did something far deeper. He stayed. He stayed in the surgeon's scalpel, in the tears of the parents, in the prayers of the people. The cross is not the explanation of evil. It is God's presence within evil. It is God saying, I am here, in this unbearable pain, with you. And sometimes, only sometimes, He makes that presence visible with signs that defy our logic. After weeks of struggle comes the news everyone had prayed for. Sophia is stable enough to begin intensive rehabilitation. She will work to recover speech, movement, her life. For a parent, these words are not the end of the battle, but the promise that life can bloom again. Every small progress, a whispered word, a finger moving on command, will be celebrated as a victory. This is the miracle that continues day after day. So, what does this incredible story teach us? It leaves us with some powerful truths. First, evil exists, and it hurts terribly. Faith is not a sedative to ignore it. It is the strength to face it, to look it in the eye without despair. Second, God is present within evil itself. In the Gospel, the risen Jesus shows His wounds. He doesn't erase them, He transfigures them. God did not spare Sophia her cross, but He transformed it into a sign of resurrection, for her and for all of us. Third, science and faith are not enemies. They are two hands reaching out toward life. Science, through its technique, saved Sophia's body. Faith, through prayer, sustained her soul and the hearts of those who love her. Those who set them against each other diminish them both. Science without humility becomes arrogance. Faith without reason becomes superstition. And finally, fourth, a miracle is not magic. It is a calling. If we asked God for Sophia's life, we must now ask ourselves, what will we do with ours? How will we respond to such a great gift? This story matters because today's world is thirsting for hope. Not empty hope, but concrete hope. The kind that has the face of a child, the hands of a doctor, and the heart of thousands praying together. Because when a surgeon, a man of numbers and evidence, comes to whisper the word miracle, he's not doing theology. He's paying tribute to something greater. And we, as believers, know that this something has a name: God. If this story has touched your heart, join us. Write a prayer in the comments for Sophia, for her family, and for all victims of violence. And share this video with anyone who needs to believe that, even in the deepest darkness, a ray of light is always possible.